here on 97.3. PT's in the house. Hey, PT, I love it. We're all eagled up. We're in Eagles green today.
We did not commiserate. We did not collaborate. We did not speak to each other. I am debuting my vintage
I love it.
Kelly green. Now, it's a little tight on the PT if you're watching on the stream, but that's all right. It only comes in 3, not 4. And then I got the old hat. You know, I'm sort of like father, like son. My father has an Eagles Kelly green hat, Billy, that is corduroy.
Oh, wow.
It's a corduroy starter Eagles hat. What year was starter? 84, 85, something like that? 90 maybe? Who knows?
But I'll tell you what, Pete, you're right. We didn't collaborate just to show the enthusiasm we have for the kickoff of the 2021 season. We both have our Eagles gear on, and I'm pumped up, and I couldn't be more excited for a season that, look, after last year's 4-11-1, football debacle, if you want to call it. And
the only thing is, who we're playing today is worse.
Right, but the fact is that
we were 4-11-1. What were they?
They were 4-12, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But here's the thing, Pete. I'm pumped up because we're moving into a new era with the Nick Sirianni, the brand new and young coaching staff, significant changes both on offense and defense, with the drafting of a Heisman Trophy wide receiver, some additions on defense that I think are good, and Jalen Hurts getting a full year. I mean, he's now the starter.
Well, he got a full year. He got 4 games.
No, I'm telling you, he's got the full.
Okay, all right.
I'm just saying, moving forward, I'm excited.
Listen, I'm excited too. I'm excited about the fact that I think this is a good debut for them, right? I think that Atlanta, neither team is outstanding and coming off an outstanding season. There's more question marks than answers. And, but I just think, it's funny. Our guy that we had on, Balding there, he really made me sort of switch my expectations on the Eagles. Now, do I think they're going to win the division? No. But I also think that they're not going to be as bad as people are giving them credit for. You just heard Sal Powell on Best Of.
Right.
I trust him too, right? And Sal Powell is kind of saying, like, listen, I'm not biased. I'm not a guy that just goes toward the Eagles because I've covered the Eagles all my life. This is how I think they're going to be, and he thinks they're going to be pretty good. So, of course, our show today is going to be great because you and I are on from 10 to 12. Then the official pregame show's on from 12 to 1, and then Mike and Merrill and Mike are on, and the game's on right here. So just, basically lock it into 97.3 ESPN for Eagles Sunday, NFL Sunday. God, it is like Christmas.
It is. So every Sunday on the program, we'll be the beginning of the Eagles pregame coverage. Every Sunday, we'll be talking with Scott Grayson from 97.3ESPN.com and Fox 29 News.
That's our guy, man. I couldn't be more proud of him, too, like his elevation. And thankfully, even though he's Mr. Big Fox 29 and he's on the TV and all that stuff, he hasn't forgot where he came from, which is right here. No, and West Virginia, of course.
Right. And, of course, you can watch him on Sports Sunday every Sunday night for complete Eagles coverage, post-game coverage on Sports Sunday at 10:30 on Fox 29.
Plus on Mondays. Now, listen, I don't know about you, but that's something that I look forward to each and every day after the Eagles game. Mondays on a Sunday, Tuesdays if they play Monday Night Football, but I'm always looking forward to Grayson's grades because he watches the game with a much more critical eye than the average fan, right? He's watching the offensive line. He's watching the D line. He's seeing who turned the ball over, who made a good play, who made a bad play. And he's also evaluating the coach each week. I love the Grayson's grades. I love when he gets out the proverbial red pen. I'm a teacher now, right? So I have to do grading. So I'm, that immediately gets my attention. Plus, on Monday mornings, I'm up early. Billy, what I do on my classes, by the way, I make this deal for them.
What?
If the Eagles win, I'm such an unabashed Eagles fan for all my life. Right. I tell them that if they come in on Monday and the Eagles have won, I will play the entire YouTube highlights the next day. And, that official, NFL melts, they call it, like the recap. Sure. It's like 13 minutes. So they're like, and kind of, they're not all NFL fans. So the kids will look at me like, I don't know. And I'm thinking well, would you rather me start the lecture? Oh, no, Mr. Thompson, go ahead and play the Eagles.
Unfortunately, I wasn't able to do that when I was.
Well, how do you tie in history? You were teaching history. How do you
what? You want to hear something? You want to hear
fake anything.
Pete, you want to hear a great story? When I was in high school, we had a teacher by the name of Mike D'Alessandro, who was a big football coach. And every Friday, And then this is back before smart boards. This is when you just had chalkboard.
Okay. All right.
Every Friday, all right, whoever the team that Collinsville High School was playing, he'd have the whole. And he was a history teacher.
Oh, no kidding!
He'd
but
have
he did
the
whole
history.
Oh, wow!
All from 1932 up until present day. He'd have every score of every year, and it would fill the entire blackboard. You know how long that must have taken him?
That's a ton of prep. Yeah.
That's right. But he incorporated history in that.
I just looked at the crawl on the StreamYard, by the way. You realize we have a triple header of football here on this wonderful radio station? We got Eagles and Falcons to start things off. Then you have the Chiefs and the Browns. How do you think Baker Mayfield, everybody's so excited and so high on the Browns. You think they're going to go get B-slapped by the Chiefs at Arrowhead? And then, of course, what's your interest in tonight's game? Bears and Rams. I mean,
Justin Jefferson, he's going to get a start tonight?
Who, Justin Fields?
Justin Fields. I'm thinking, because we had a conversation about him yesterday as far as Jalen Rigger and Justin Jefferson goes.
Oh, okay. So you got Jefferson on the brain.
Fields,
yeah. Well, I'll call you Wheezy and just go ahead and move on to your next.
All right. Also, Pete, I want to tell our listeners that Blitz's Market, the locker room Blitz's Market, want to discount your Eagles game day meal. During the Eagles season on game day, get an Italian hoagie for just $5 when you go into Blitz's and mention the locker room. Get down to Blitz's all season long at 21st Street and Asbury Avenue in Ocean City. Blitz's now has online ordering at blitzesmarkets.com or call them at 609-399-9983. Blitz's home of the dill pickle hoagie. It's really a big dill, but that is.
Did you write that, or did they write that?
I did. That is a.
That was your joke.
No. This is from last year.
Oh, Carson, you are not. Look, Blitz's and our show should go together. If we're having a football Sunday,
right?
Blitz's. I mean, come on. That's
you go down to Blitz's, and guess what? That's a $3 savings.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Well, we all need to save a little money.
Blitz's Market, the Italian hoagie for $5 a day when you mention the locker room. Get down there and get your hoagie.
Take an Italian. Take some Hers chips, please.
Also,
maybe
every Sunday,
a Frank's soda.
Since we are, by the way, did you like your fantasy? We had our fantasy draft last.
I liked
Wednesday.
my fantasy draft in this league. I was awful in my CBS league, so I think I'm okay in the 97-3, whatever that we're calling that league. I think I got Christian McCaffrey. I had the #1 overall pick. It did tick me off that
did you
Gil and who was it? Luke Pergandy. Like Luke Pergandy kept taking the guys that Gil wanted, and then Gil kept taking the guys that I wanted. But I think I did okay. I mean, look, you always like your draft, and I thought you did horrible, but I won't even get into that. I mean,
why? Because I picked Mahomes first?
Nah, but not even just that. It's a PPR league, but you were also picking some guys that I feel like I know you well enough to know that you're like, hey, that's a name I recognize. I'm going to pick him. Instead of like where you really have to steal a fantasy draft is when you're drafting on expectations, not what they did the year before. But that's just my 2 cents. Well, in fact, why don't we make a side wager right now that I beat you in the 97-3 ESPN league? What do you think? $5?
To be honest with you, I haven't even looked at your team.
Who cares? $5? Put your mouth where put your money where your mouth is.
You got it.
$5.
Here we go. Let's see what my AC War Room. You don't like my. So here's my starting line. And by the way, the reason why we're talking about this because every Sunday we'll be joined by my fantasy football and yours,
right?
Brian Hartley.
Yeah, I love Brian
Hartley, fantasy football guru.
Yep, he's
all right. I got
sharp.
Patrick Mahomes, Edwards-Helaire, Emmons. I got Jerry Jeudy, who I love.
Okay.
Calvin Ridley today, the Atlanta Falcon wide receiver. Mike Evans, who didn't do well for. He
They're
did okay.
1 or 2 weapon. Yeah, look,
Goddard.
Okay.
Claypool.
Goddard, I thought there were better tight ends out there, but go ahead.
I just wanted to get a Philadelphia Eagle. And the San Francisco defense, Jake Elliott.
Always a problem. I just wanted a Philadelphia Eagle.
So what's wrong with my team?
Jake Elliott? You got Jake Elliott?
Let me hear your team, Pete.
Well, if you told me we were going to talk about this, I would have had it ready.
Take you 2 seconds to pull it up.
All right. You want to know my team?
I want to know your team.
All right. Let's see who my starters are.
Because Mahomes is going to just get me. He's going to have a monster year. Hilaire Edwards is going to be. I think Kansas City.
First of all, I've got Christian McCaffrey. I had the #1 overall pick. Right?
Him in another
Christian McCaffrey, Josh Allen. I got Swift from Detroit. T. Higgins from Cincinnati. I have your boy Justin Jefferson. Right.
Okay.
Godwin, I thought might have been a reach, but Godwin already went off for me for Tampa Bay on that Thursday night game, so he was good. Now, I wanted the tight end from Washington, and Gil took him right ahead of me, so instead I ended up with Noah Fant, and I'm not really in love with that, but we'll see. Juju Schuster-Smith is in my flex spot. I got the Buffalo. I'm high on Buffalo. You know, we'll see how they do, but I got the Buffalo D special teams, and then I got Myers, the kicker from Seattle. There was another kicker I was looking at, and Gill took him too. So
what's funny?
Tight end and kicker.
You know what's funny, Pete? Every year I hear people saying your team stinks, and yet I end up beating them. So
all right, we got $5.
It's par for the course.
What's that
you
song?
say that
$5. $5 I'm going to take from Schweim.
First hour of the locker room is powered by Surety Title. Surety provides comprehensive title insurance protection and professional settlement services for home buyers and sellers, real estate agents, brokers, lenders, home builders, developers, and attorneys to facilitate your real estate purchases. Surety is an industry-wide leader with a team of experts to help you through the entire process, from contract signing to closing of the shortest center city and every place in between. Surety Title is there for you. With 15 office locations in New Jersey and PA, that's Surety Title. For more information, call my good friend Ron Conklin at 856-988-8900. Want to welcome our new advertiser to the team, My Winter Watchdog. Have you heard about New Jersey's premier vacant home management service, My Winter Watchdog? You know, those worrisome thoughts that creep into your mind every time you hear of a storm coming and the daunting task of driving down to the shore to check on your house, hours of time on the road. Let My Winter Watchdog be your eyes and ears with their 15-point inspection checklist. They offer a full menu of maintenance and improvement services. Owner Debbie McGonigal and her team of property caretakers are professional, licensed, bonded, and insured. So don't let the winter worry you. They'll give your house that lived-in look. That's My Winter Watchdog. Go to mywinterwatchdog.com or give them a call at 267-202-1869. That's 267-202-1869. I want to welcome Debbie onto the team.
Way to go, Debbie.
Yes. And now, when we return, we're going to speak with Scott Grayson from ES973 ESPN.com and Fox 29 News. You're listening to The Locker Room with Billy Schweim, Pete Thompson on 97.3 ESPN. All right, we're back here in the locker room with Billy Schweim, Pete Thompson, 97.3 ESPN, and the mobile app. The Eagles pregame show, of course, each and every Sunday. We'll be bringing you all the latest information when we talk to Scott Grayson from Fox 29 News at 97.3 ESPN.com. Of course, you can watch Scott on Sports Sunday every Sunday night for all your complete Eagles post-game coverage. So let's go to the Barb's Hartley Davidson Sports Hotline and welcome into the locker room, Scott Grayson. What's up, Scott?
Hey, Billy. Good to talk to you again. So glad football is back, right?
Yeah, when I texted you the other day, I was like, wow, man, here we go. We're back at it. I'm so happy to hear your voice. That means it's football season.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait. It should be a fun day.
Scott, also you can check Scott Grayson out for Grayson's Grades with Mike Gill on the Sports Bash every Monday. Following the Eagles games, we're down in Atlanta for Game 1 at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, a 1:00 kickoff against the team that was 4-12. We were 4-11-1. Some changes have been made for both units. 2 brand new coaches going head-to-head for a first time.
Yeah, and I think that just means no matter who you talk to today, whatever kind of talking head or expert you end up talking to, nobody knows what's going to happen today. Nobody has any idea what either team looks like, what they're going to run, what they're going to do. I mean, one of the best bets I think you could say is it's most likely the Eagles will blitz more than they did last year because they hardly ever blitzed with Jim Schwartz. But other than that, I mean, we don't know anything about what the Eagles are going to try to do offensively. I mean, I have in my own mind what I think they should try to do. It's something that I've been saying for a long time, which is just like feed Miles Sanders repeatedly. Let's try to get the running game going. But yeah, I mean, look, one thing we do know too is that you have Matt Ryan at quarterback for the Falcons. He's good. He's certainly experienced, but he's not mobile. And you have a healthy defensive line that, and we could talk about this, you know, when you talk about some of the weaknesses with the Falcons, I think this defensive line has an opportunity today to potentially make Matt Ryan's day really long because of some of the missing pieces, some of the inexperience that the Falcons have up front on their offensive line. So, I mean, to me, that's one of the keys. They've got to come out today and they've got to win the line.
You know, the odds makers have the Eagles at about 3.5, some places. It's got to be a difficult chore for them to do because they didn't get to see too much of the starting units in the preseason, so we really don't know what we're going to get.
Yeah, you really don't. I mean, you're basing all that off of what you know Matt Ryan has been. You're basing that off of what you think Jalen Hurts is off of 4 starts last year, which to me, you know, he didn't get a whole lot of reps with the ones before he got in there, and then he was doing it. Now he's had a whole offseason where he's been preparing to be the guy, and sure, you know, the Eagles didn't anoint him the guy until just recently, but you know, it seems like you just don't know. And up until we didn't even know who was starting left tackle was and all of a sudden they made that choice and they paid the man. You know, there's so many things going on here that I think, you know, all this stuff that's going down with trying to predict the spreads and all that. Week 1 is always a crapshoot. I mean, week 2 can be even to a certain extent as well. But yeah, I mean, no teams do anything in the preseason anymore. They leave their playbook as bare as could be. They run base stuff on defense. You have no idea. And I mean, that's part of it. We don't know what kind of a game manager Nick Sirianni is going to be. What's his 2-minute warning going to look like? How will he use his timeouts? Will he take chances when it comes to challenging, or will he not challenge unless it's absolutely certain that they're going to get the call? Defensively, are we going to blitz a lot more, or is the Eagles going to kind of try to lay back more? And now that they at least have a respectable secondary, you know, let them try to make plays. So many things we just don't understand here, and that's only on the Eagles side. But like you pointed out, the Falcons have a new head coach as well. They have a freak of nature in Kyle Pitts, who they say they're going to line up all over the field. To me, that's one of the fascinating things today to watch. What did the Falcons try to do with Pitts, and how do the Eagles try to counter that? Something else to watch today.
And Scott, if you look at the Eagles receivers, I don't think they have a receiver over 25 years old.
No, but you know what? You know, for a couple of years, that's kind of what we've all been saying. They had to get younger. Now, you could argue, is this the group you want out there? We're all excited to certainly see what Devontae Smith can do. I tell you, watching him run routes is, you know, I know to some people they want to see big plays. Watching the guy actually get open is pretty fun. So today, if you get the chance, and hopefully he stays healthy, Watch Devontae Smith work, and they'll show plenty of ISOs of him after he makes a catch or after he makes a play. The guy can get himself open and create windows of space. That's a skill I haven't seen here in some time. Hopefully Jalen Reagor is poised for a second year. I think he's going to have a better year. It's hard not to. But look, you got Dallas Goedert and Zach Ertz again, and we went through this whole offseason, I did at least, thinking there's no way Ertz is back. But he is. He seems to have bought in. It seems like there's, some sort of truce that's been made between him and the franchise for now. And they've got a healthy offensive line. We talked about that with the defensive line. The offensive line's healthy. The Eagles, to me, should really win the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball today, and that's how they have to win this game. And you've got those guys healthy, which has not been the case in the past. Let's see what they can do. It's about time to kind of see what they can do.
Scott Grayson's with us on the Barb's Harley Davidson hotline. Grayson's grades tomorrow, Fox 29 Sports tonight. Make sure you check him out, and he joins us here on the Locker Room with Billy Schweim and myself, PT. So, Grayson, I want to ask you a little bit about the running back position because Miles Sanders, a ton of potential, but we're still waiting to see, is he going to be able to catch the ball out of the backfield well? Because that's always been a bugaboo for him. But, when you look at that triple-headed monster, if you will, and I won't even call it a monster, Miles Sanders, Boston Scott, and then Kenneth Gainwell, what are your impressions of them at the running back position?
Well, it's going to come down to how are they used, because that's kind of what I need to see. I have been saying, and Billy, I know you've heard me say this. Pete, I'm pretty sure you've heard me say this too. The Eagles need to feed Miles Sanders. I want to see him getting 20 touches a game, and I don't see why you wouldn't do that. Now, whether he's catching it out of the backfield or whether he's running with it, Miles to me is better as a runner, obviously. But you look at, and Boston Scott's a good fill-in-the-gap kind of guy that can kind of do it all. Gainwell, to me, is going to be interesting to watch this year. He has certainly raised some eyebrows in camp. He's got some speed. He's got the ability to – you talk about a guy who can catch the ball out of the backfield. That is where Gainwell will help you. So I would expect to see him out there on some third downs. But, I think how they use those three guys is going to be interesting. And are we looking to ask Jalen Hurts to throw the ball 50 times a game like Doug would do with his quarterbacks? Or are they going to do a little bit more in terms of running the ball and trying to control the line of scrimmage like I had talked about with the healthy line? And, these offensive linemen love to run block more than they love to pass block. Let these guys do what they do and do it well and run behind Jordan Mailata. The dude's a freak. So hopefully – they give Miles Sanders a healthy dose of action today. And let's not overlook this fact. Miles Sanders is going to be getting down near the end of his rookie contract here soon. So he's going to be wanting to get paid.
Good point.
So it's not a contract year, but it's kind of a show-me year for Miles Sanders. And let's see how he reacts to that.
Scott Grayson with us here on the Locker Room. So, Scott, on the defensive side of the ball, you accurately point out that, they're going to live and die by how good their defensive line is and how well they're going to be able to get pressure or frustrate Matt Ryan today. But where's the weakness on the defense, if you will? Is it in the secondary or is it our favorite spot on defense to pick on the linebackers?
Well, yeah, it is our favorite place to pick on. I think they finally have done a little better at that position, but it's clearly – if you got into Howie Roseman's office, you snuck in there and you looked through where he puts the least priority in terms of getting players and devoting money, linebacker would be at the top of that list. Look, Alex Singleton has certainly proved himself to be what looks like a valuable piece there. Eric Wilson, I think, was a good pickup. We'll see how he fits in. I'm curious to see Sean Bradley in there as well. You've got TJ Edwards. They have more depth there than I remember in recent years.
Yeah.
But you look at the secondary, and to me, boy, it would be a lot better. I'd feel a lot better about things back there if Rodney McLeod were playing. He's just not quite there yet. He won't be out long. Was finally off the PUP list. So I think you're looking better there. I like the fact that you've got Nelson opposite Darius Slay, because to me, the other thing outside of Pitts, and the question is, how will the Eagles cover Pitts? But also, how will they handle Calvin Ridley? Because I got to believe after you look at what happened last year in some games, you think back to the Green Bay game or the Seattle game. I mean, Darius Slay got eaten alive out there. And I've got to think the Falcons are at least going to try that a little bit with Ridley. and I would expect the Eagles to put Slay on Ridley. So that's one thing to keep an eye on today. But safety position today is going to be interesting to watch as well. Linebackers, you asked the question. I'm still, until they prove otherwise, I'm hesitant about them because they're going to be part of the key to what you do with Pitts. And he's just such a freak that he could abuse, I think, linebackers. So
yeah, and if he goes and has a huge game, then that just sends the roadmap to the rest of the league. Go ahead, use your tight end and use them often.
And by the way, if you look,
I go back to the Pittsburgh game last year. Claypool ate the linebackers alive. Yep. And so, and the Eagles didn't make adjustments. I mean, Schwartz did not. He refused to make many adjustments on whatever his game plan was coming into the game. So, we'll see. Does this staff make adjustments? If they try one thing and it doesn't work with Pitts, do they make an adjustment of some sort? Or do they bang their head against the wall and say, no, ultimately this will eventually work? Well, that didn't happen last year.
Now, you look at Calvin Ridley's numbers from last year, 90 receptions, 1,374 receiving yards, 9 touchdowns. So with the 1-2 punch of Pitts and Ridley, the defensive secondary, the linebackers, they got their work cut out for them today.
They do, and that's why I look at the defensive line. And to me, I think, guys, this is going to be the biggest key is, I talked about it before. The Falcons are a little inexperienced on their offensive line. They've got a first-year starter who only started a couple of games last year, starting at center. Well, congratulations. You're drawing Fletcher Cox on you the whole day. And you got to make that snap decent. And they've got another guy, a rookie, because of an injury that happened, that's going to be starting on the line as well. I think he's going to be at left guard, but they're kind of trying to figure out what they're doing there. I'm talking about a rookie in the name of Jalen Mayfield. And again, okay, fine. Congratulations. You're getting your start. And Brandon Brooks is going to be hunting you down. Or not Brandon Brooks, sorry, Brandon Graham is going to be coming right at you. So you've got Fletcher Cox and Brandon Graham. I got to believe those two guys are already sitting in the locker room just chomping at the bit to abuse those two guys. And if the Eagles can do that, then I don't think it's going to matter as much in the secondary because Ryan's not going to have the time to wait and see if those guys can get open. So, yeah, I think that's going to be a key to the game, especially early on, is win those battles up front, abuse those guys, don't let them get any kind of confidence, and just keep mixing things up, bringing some stunts, messing with their heads. I mean, you got to see, can they think on the fly? And that's going to be the biggest key right up front on defense. Those two guys they've got to go after, in my opinion, with Cox, Graham. Let's see what some of the other guys on the defensive line do as well. I mean, they've got some depth there. So, and again, they're healthy. So let's see if you can own the line of scrimmage and win that. Then Matt Ryan won't have time to find Calvin Ridley. He'll have to do more with Pitts underneath.
Well, these games are one up front. We've always discussed that plenty of times in the past. All right, Scotty Grayson, give us your picks for Week 1 against the Falcons.
I think the Eagles are stronger and they win both sides of the line of scrimmage. And to me, as you've heard some people say before, that's one of the biggest keys of the game. If you can dominate the line of scrimmage, then you can win the game. And so the biggest key to me is Jalen Hurts just needs to take care of the ball, not turn it over. I think both quarterbacks may have a turnover today. But ultimately, I feel the Eagles win this game. I feel pretty confident they win this game. And I'm going with a score of 24-17.
All right, there he is, Scott Grayson, picking the Eagles 24-17. As always, Scott, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. And we'll catch you tonight on Sports Sunday on Fox 29 News. We'll check you out tomorrow with Mike Gill and a Sports Bash for Grayson's Grades. And we'll talk to you next Sunday.
Yeah, sounds good. Billy Pete, good to hear you guys. Enjoy the rest of Week 1.
All right, let's go Birds. There he is.
Thanks, Scott.
Scotty Grayson on the Barb's Harley-Davidson Sports Hotline. I want to remind people the first hour of the locker was powered by Surety Title. Surety provides comprehensive title insurance protection and professional settlement services for home buyers, sellers, real estate agents, brokers, lenders, home builders, developers, and attorneys to facilitate your real estate purchases. Surety is an industry-wide leader with a team of experts that help you through the entire process, from contract signing to closing, for the shortest center city and every place in between. Surety Title is there for you. 15 office locations in New Jersey and PA. That's Surety Title. For more information, call my good friend Ron Conklin at 856-988-8900. Friends, let me tell you about Maserati, the main line, located just minutes from downtown Philadelphia. They offer a client-focused car buying experience designed to exceed all expectations and invite you to stop and see the area's largest selection of new Maseratis, including the sporty Ghibli midsize sedan or the class-leading Levante, the only SUV worthy of being called a Maserati. Maserati, the mainline, also leads the nation in certified pre-owned sales and has the highest quality like new Maseratis available on the market. Your experience does not end at the point of a sale, as Maserati, the mainline, offers free pickup and delivery for scheduled service appointments and provides a new Maserati loaner car. So be audacious. Call my good friend Michael Pileggi at Maserati, the mainline, at 484-804-4800. That's 484-804-4800. Or visit them online anytime at motml.com. All right, when we return, we'll continue with more Eagles pregame talk. You're listening to The Locker Room with Billy Schweim, Pete Thompson on 97.3 ESPN and the mobile app. All right, we're back here in the locker room. Billy Schweim, 97.3 ESPN. Pete Thompson in the house, getting you ready for Eagles, Falcons, down there in Atlanta at Mercedes-Benz. By the way, Pete, the Eagles are 8-2 in their last 10 games that they start. The last 10 games that they opened with, you know what I'm trying to say.
You want to try that again? They won 4 out of there.
How about I was trying to do? I was trying to read something as I was reading something.
Yeah, well, that's tough for you. How about
Let me try it again.
No, let the teleprompter boy do it. The Eagles have won 4 of their last 5 season openers dating back to 2016. Philadelphia also tied with the Patriots,
but they're 8-2
for the
in their
best
last 10.
Week 1 winning percentage. That's 800 because they were 8-2 in their last 10. Right. There you go. You know what you tried to do is you tried to actually sort of rewrite it, dude.
I did.
Ron Burgundy. Just read the damn words. Did you know? By the way, I just saw this in the break. That there's going to be a new there's going to be a new analyst on this broadcast today. So we get Kevin Burkhardt as the play-by-play guy, but Greg Olson, the former tight end Greg Olson, is going to be in the booth. I'll be curious to see how he does, and then Pam Oliver's on the sideline. So look, we're not for basically a crappy matchup as far as the rest of the league looks at it, or the whole country looks at it. We're getting a pretty good broadcast team. I mean, I know there's a lot of people that when we get the Z team, they don't want to listen to the television at all. The people that hate Chris Collinsworth, that's not a Z team. But, the people that hate, like, who is this guy? Did you watch the game last year with Aqib Talib?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, and did you like him?
Yeah, I didn't. He didn't bother me.
No, I mean, he talked
he was pretty colorful as far as
he talked how he talks.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the number one thing. You know that, Billy. Just be yourself. So somebody said to me the other day, why is Billy always laughing? What's so funny? Why is he always laughing? I go, just meet the guy once, and you'll see that that's how he is. This isn't shtick. This is an act.
Well, you know what was amazing? A couple of weeks ago, Scotty McKay, my Saturday co-host, says to me, and he's known me his whole entire life, like since we were like 16.
Okay.
You know what he says? He goes, it's an act.
Yeah. No.
How far off is that cat?
I mean, look, I love you, but no matter how you feel about you, this is who you are.
Right?
You are not putting on airs. You are not putting on shtick or anything like that.
I don't try to pretend I'm somebody.
Hey, by the way, thanks to Phil on the StreamYard, Bill D, Elmon, all the people that are chiming in on the stream. You can watch us on Twitter. You can watch us on Facebook. No, not Facebook right now. YouTube. I knew I'd screw that up. See, it's not just you that messes up.
So listen, and let's open up the text board today. 609-403-0973 is the text board. Give us a prediction for today's game. 609-403-0973. Get everybody involved.
Did you text Nick from Brigantine and tell him to text in? Because he texted before he even knew that you were going to open up the board.
How about that?
He says the Birds game's going to almost be a tie. And then he goes, no, I'm kidding. 31-13. That's a palindrome,
wow,
Nick.
31-13.
Yeah, he's very high on the Eagles. Oh, did you see what I did yesterday?
No.
Did you see that I retweeted Dave Weinberg's article before I retweeted yours?
That was funny. What the heck was that all
Well,
about?
I enjoy Dave Weinberg's writing, and Dave has covered the Eagles for a long time, and he's a little pessimistic about the outlook for the thing, maybe, dare I say, curmudgeonly or get off my lawn, right? So he writes his extra points column on 97.3ESPN.com, and he's on, I think, for Weinberg Wednesdays with Josh each Wednesday at 6:20, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I saw his thing. I read it. I kind of smiled. I liked his insight. I liked what he had to say. Dave is also now incorporating his columns more like he talks, which I felt like I was having a orange crush with Dave at an establishment in Cape May, and he was just sort of, free form talking about the Eagles. And then I see like your headline, which is like, woohoo, rah, rah, sis-boo-bah,
Wait, all I said, you know what? My headline said, anticipation is high.
Right.
I didn't say what type of, like, whether you're looking at a 12-5 season or anything.
I know. I'm just saying. After reading Dave Weinberg's first, then I saw yours and I started chuckling. And then it dawned on me, oh, PT, you are a dum-dum because Billy's going to get his, you know what in a bunch because
Nah,
I retweeted Weinberg before I retweeted you. So
Yeah.
then I retweeted yours as well. So there you go. Equal opportunity. We got the heat miser and the cold miser. We got the hot and cold. We got the positive and the negative.
I'm used to getting
the yin and the yang.
ready for this. I'm used to getting dissed.
Yeah, well, sure. I mean, that's, have you met your brother?
All right. We have some Eagles notes out today. Landon Dickerson is out, and also Rodney McLeod is out, and Davian Taylor for the Eagles is questionable today.
Okay. Listen, I look at it like this. They're going with who they think they have, who's ready to go. Scott Grayson hit the nail on the head, the best, which is to say we don't know what we don't know yet. This is the great unknown, but I'm still optimistic. I mean, they're not missing anybody per se that, is going to me, have a huge impact on the game. So I'm very, very eager. Anticipation is a good word. I'm eagerly anticipating.
Yes.
Do you know the difference between anxious and eager, Billy?
What's the difference?
Seriously, do you know the difference?
Say it again.
Anxious versus eager.
Yeah, eager is that you're looking forward to something with great anticipation, and anxious means you're nervous about it.
Okay, you basically got it. Eager has a positive connotation.
Right.
I am eager to see how Jalen Hurts, the rest of the Eagles, perform against the Falcons today. I'm anxious to get my test results back from the doctor. There you go.
So my headline, I think was appropriate because it doesn't give away a positive or a negative.
Well, first of all, did you write the headline?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, I'm just curious. Secondly, your headline was fine, but I will say this. It made me think of ketchup.
It made you think of what?
Anticipation.
Right. How about this stat for you? The Eagles have won 11 of 16 games against Atlanta since 2000.
Okay, you going to get that one right?
Is that all right? Do you put any stock in that, Pete?
No, not at all. These are just things that fill up the pregame notes.
Okay.
We just don't know. We really don't know anything about either of these two teams because they didn't show us anything in the preseason. They didn't really show us anything, coming into this game. We have no idea, and that's fine. I like what Grayson told us earlier, too. At least maybe now, under the new system, the Eagles will actually blitz. At least maybe now they'll make adjustments. Right. Nothing drove me crazy. When he talked about Claypool last year, I mean, that's freaking Claypool that was destroying them and carving them up because Schwartz and
he refused.
I got to tell you, you used to see this in person when you were at the stadium more than if you were like watching it on TV. But that Sticks defense, I understand it's kind of like a math equation, right? We're just going to line everybody up by the first down marker and keep everything in front of you, and they won't get a first down. But I hate it. I just hate it because you're still allowing them to catch the ball. And then, oops, all of a sudden they miss a tackle here, they miss a tackle there. The Sticks defense didn't work. So I'll be real. Look, offense gets the big money, right? Including Jordan Mailata, which we haven't talked about yet, by the way. Are you a little concerned that they broke open the bank for an unproven commodity, or is this them just being smart and getting in ahead of time? I mean, I'm
concerned that they broke the bank for an unproven commodity.
$40.85 million guaranteed.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But
I think it is for the simple reason that you just stated he's an unproven commodity.
But he's been so dominant, and I guess that they look at it like if we don't lock him up now, it would have had to cost us more later. I mean,
how about this? Let me give you another stat.
Tell me more stats.
I got another stat for you. Tell me if you put any stock in this stat.
Okay.
Because these games are one up front. Grayson alluded to it. I'm gonna continue that theme. The Eagles ranked third in the NFL in sacks the last season with 49, the most by the team since 2014.
Well, that to me speaks to the depth on their defensive line. Okay, so yeah, I put some stock in that one. And he talked about the rookie on the Falcons, or the unproven player that's got to line up against Fletcher Cox. When your defensive line is Brandon Graham and Javon Hargrave and Fletcher Cox and really Josh Sweat. I mean, they're listing Derek Barnett and Josh Sweat as co-starters, but Sweat won that job, right? So, but then the backups, Ridgeway and Kerrigan and Barnett. I mean, I think the Eagles defensive line, if they were getting that pressure and not blitzing, now the ability to bring a blitz too, I think it's going to frustrate Matt Ryan. And I mean, look, I understand Matt Ryan's a veteran, but It's going to be weird. There's going to be no Julio Jones for the first time. Like you watch the Falcons, you're looking for number 11. He's not going to be there. And I'm not really afraid of, I mean, Pitts is the great unknown for me in this one. I just don't know if the Eagles are going to be able to handle that guy. And that's my big concern. But I'm not concerned about their running back position.
So I like the fact that over the years, the Eagles had a propensity to use that rotation, the defensive line rotation, to keep the guys healthy. I think they're back to that with the acquisition of Ryan Kerrigan and of course Josh Sweat almost winning that spot over Derek Barnett. I think that bodes well for the Eagles defense.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, and I look at it like this. You can never have enough quality depth on the line, whether it's offensive line or defensive line, because guys get dinged up or they need to take a play off. And, it's just like in the NBA, Gil and I have talked to, like you used to need 2 stars. Now you need 3. I think in the NFL, you need 5, like you need 10 linemen, 10 quality, like actual, NFL. You need 5 stars and 5 almost stars.
Right.
So that's why the linemen are so coveted.
I want to remind people, the Locker Room and Blitz's Market want to discount your Eagles game day meal. During the Eagles season, game day, get an Italian hoagie for just $5 when you mention the Locker Room. Get down to Blitz's all season long at 21st and Asbury Avenue in Ocean City. Blitz's now has online ordering at blitzesmarket.com or call them at 609-399-9983. Blitz's home of the dill pickle hoagie. It's really a big deal. And Blitz is a great place to get a hoagie for sacks. We're going to think of a lot of sacks today. The defensive line needs to play big today, Pete.
Absolutely. Blitz is appropriate because here we are talking about the Eagles might actually blitz. Heck yeah. Get out there and do it.
First hour of the Locker was powered by Surety Title. Surety provides comprehensive title insurance protection and professional settlement services for home buyers, sellers, real estate agents, brokers, lenders, home builders, developers, and attorneys to facilitate your real estate purchases. From the shortest center city and every place in between, Surety Title is there for you with 15 office locations in New Jersey and PA. That's Surety Title. For more information, call our good friend Ron Conklin at 856-988-8900. Just about everybody in our area has heard about the Jersey Man and Philly Man magazine run by ex-Philadelphia tight end Ken Dunnick. But were you aware of their private business network they call the Legacy Club? Every month, they hold private events at upscale locations in Philadelphia and South Jersey that attract over 200 top business people. If you have an interest in attending one of these events and seems a fit for your business, send an email to ken@jerseymanmagazine.com or give a call at 856-912-4007 for more information. All right, when we return, we'll wrap up the first hour. You're listening to The Locker Room, Billy Schweim on 97.3 ESPN and the mobile app. All right, we're back here in the locker room. Billy Schweim, Pete Thompson, Eagles pregame show. Let's get some.
We are like the pregame.
We're the pregame.
We're the pregame before the pregame. We got so much game. We're before the game.
It's game day, Pete. I'm in a 3-point stance. Let's get the listeners involved. 609-403-0973 is the text board. So send us a prediction. What do you think the Eagles are going to do today with a score? 609-403-0973. What do you have, Pete?
Paul from Millville says 27-13 Birds. Paul, by the way, that's my prediction as well. You stole it. They'll finish the season 10-7, winning the division. Whoa, Paul.
Whoa.
Okay, I like it strong. Boys, I'm high on the Eagles, but not as high as 31-13. I think it's going to be more of a close game, but the Birds prevail. Miles Sanders surprises everyone with a 100-plus yard rushing game. Birds victory 31-24. That's Matt over in Delaware. Thank you, Matty. Nice job by you. Yes, put your name on there too, right? Dan from EHD, 50-13.
Dan.
The Birds.
I love
Oh,
it.
sorry, the Eagles. Yeah, Birds, Eagles, you know, just right. That's true.
609-403.
He can't say the Birds because he could have been talking about the Falcons.
That's right.
Yeah.
609-403-0973. Keep them coming in. Your predictions on the text board. 609-403-0973. On the other side, we'll continue with our Eagles talk. Get you ready for Mike and Merle, their pregame show.
Merle
Reese. Of course, on the other side, we have our fantasy football guru, Brian Hartley. We'll check in. I look forward to that. Pete thinks my fantasy football team stinks, but we have a $5 bet on it, Pete.
That's correct. Big money.
You're going down. People,
the usual bet, Mortimer, big money.
That's so funny. Every year people say the same thing about my team. It's like they think I don't know what I'm doing, and then when I beat them, I just sit there and chuckle.
We'll see.
I get the last laugh, Pete.
Okay.
I always will. All right. The locker room with Billy Schweim, Pete Thompson, Eagles pregame show will continue. 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN mobile app. Eagles. Eagles. We are back here in the locker room with Billy Schweim, Pete Thompson on 97.3 ESPN and the mobile app. PT, we're about an hour and 57 minutes away from the 2021 kickoff.
I can't wait. I can't wait for week one. I can't wait for my 2 TV setup. I don't know how you do it in Collingswood, but I have my big television that's like gigantic, and I run everything through that. And then I have a secondary, smaller TV. Now, that was the table that my girlfriend used to like display like family photos, or there'd be a plant on there or something. Like 2 years ago, my girlfriend's son, Michael, was like, hey, don't you have another TV upstairs? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, why don't you bring it down so we have 2 TVs? And I'm like, well, how would that even work? And then I literally had to like sort of splice the cable off the big TV to then feed like an old rudimentary like coaxial into the other one. And so we can't like the small TV, we can't rewind it.
Right.
We cannot also get like Red Zone,
right,
you know, or NFL Network. It's just very limited basic, but you can get whatever that game is over the air. And hey, just to have 2 TVs on at once. Now for the Eagles, I'm all Eagles, right? Like I want that lock, stock, and barrel.
I mean, I'll get the clicker going, but I'm with the Eagles.
But do you watch the Red Zone at all?
Yeah, I have the Red Zone on, especially after like at 4 o'clock.
When the Eagles are over, then do you ever go back? Because look, they never.
Well, I watch the post game show on NBC Sports Philly.
Okay, that's fine.
You know, I like this. You know, I really enjoy Seth Joyner.
Yeah, well, Seth brings it, man.
He's my guy, man. I love
especially when he sees what's going wrong on the defense. You know what I mean?
He's a sugarcoated.
Yeah, no, he tells it like it is. And our guy Barrett Brooks to talk about the offensive line, how they did. Look, I gotta be honest with you. I was texting this gentleman this morning. I really miss D-Gun. You know, he's on a bunch of different platforms now, so he's still kind of doing his thing. What I liked about
D-Gun, he got the trust of the players.
100%.
And the fact is that they would be more candid with D-Gun than they would with anybody else because they're comfortable with him. I mean, that he wasn't trying to expose them or create a story.
Yeah. He was never going to make them look bad. He was never going to ask about, like, hey, that time you got beat over the middle.
Exactly.
You know, like, he was always out
there's
there.
Another reporter down there that does that type of stuff.
Yeah, he's got a beard. Yeah. Looks like a fast food restaurant, but okay.
By the way, I don't know if this is concerning to you, but, you know, Wednesday, some of the Eagles that were limited in participation, Brandon Brooks, of course, Landon Dickerson's out, Rodney McLeod's out, but Davian Taylor with a calf. The Falcons didn't have anybody that was limited practice. The only concern they might have is Grady Jarrett, but it wasn't injury related. He was out with a personal issue.
So you want to know if I'm concerned about the people that are out?
Well, yeah. Are you concerned about Brandon Brooks? I mean, the offensive line was their albatross, right? Last year they had 14 offensive line combinations. Lane Johnson, is he going to be able to remain healthy? I love Jordan Mailata. They do too. They just signed him to a huge contract. Like Jason Kelsey. I mean, Kelsey's been an Iron Man for the last 5-6 years. He hasn't missed a game.
Right. I mean, that's a guy that plays hurt. And look, I think Lane Johnson is a guy that plays hurt until he just couldn't play anymore. I mean, I think he really tried his best to play through the injuries last year, and it was just too much. It was too significant. He just couldn't do it. You know what I mean? He just couldn't do it. So to me, the line play is going to be key, right? Both offensive and defensive line is going to be key. The continuity that you get with your offensive line is going to be key. The fact that, Jalen Hurts actually may not be running for his life, but if he does have to run, he can run.
He does have that escapability.
Sure.
And he's a very athletic quarterback. Now, I know last year he only completed 52% of his passes. He threw for 1,000 yards in 4 games. He also ran for 354 yards, so he has that extra dynamic that is tough for defenses. But one thing I'm worried about, look, the head coach of the new head coach of the Atlanta Falcons, Arthur Smith.
Yeah, I was having trouble today. I was driving in. I was like, don't say Arthur Blank. Don't say Arthur Blank.
He was the Tennessee Titans offensive coordinator for the last 2 seasons, and he orchestrated one of the NFL top offenses. Of course, he led the Titans led the league in red zone touchdown percentages at 75%. All right. Now he's got a quarterback that's in Matt Ryan, Matty Ice, Like, I'm worried about that.
You're worried about Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
I'm more thinking about the fact that, like, hey, this is going to be the first time that Jonathan Gannon calls a defense as the defensive coordinator in an NFL game, and that, to me, the guy's, he's 38 years old. Like, isn't there been some times where you've looked at Sirianni or you've looked at Gannon in these press conferences and thought, like, dude, are you old enough to drive?
Well, and here
they look so young,
by
but
the
then
way,
again, I'm 50, and how old are you? Aren't you like 70? How old are you?
I look like I'm 35.
That's correct. What are you, 56?
But yeah,
just give up the answer.
60.
No, you're not 60.
Yes, I am.
Are you really 60?
Yeah.
Oh, well, then you look damn good.
So we had Bill Berge on the show yesterday.
Oh, what did he have to say?
And I asked him,
if I was a good producer, I'd have that clip queued up.
I tried to ask him about the correlation between Dick Vermeil coming in as a young coach and Nick Sirianni. And what was it like for a grizzled veteran with Pro Bowl experience to come in, have Dick Vermeil come in from the West Coast with his rah-rah and strict rules? How did he take that? Like, how do these players respond to a young coaching staff? And Bill Berge said,
here's the funny thing. Wait, real quick, though. Dick Vermeil came in with rah-rah and enthusiasm, but he also worked the hell out of him.
Well,
I mean, those practices were so tough.
Well, Bill Berge said that Dick Vermeil came up to him right off the bat and said, you're going to keep your chin strap buckled, all right? And you're going to do everything I tell you. That wouldn't fly today, Pete.
Right. Well, Buddy Ryan never called people by their names. Hey, 52, get over here. Hey,
right.
47, get over here. You know what I mean? Like, it's a different league. It's a different era. It's a different time. Who knows how much rock, paper, scissors and all the competition that Sirianni's been doing correlates.
Ping pong, basketball, right?
But I got to believe that if he was able to connect with the Colts receiving core and that age group of players, that he's going to be able to connect with the team. Look, nothing brings a team closer together than winning. And
Absolutely.
If they go out today and they win by some of the scores that we're getting from our listeners and some of the scores that you and I are predicting, just as long as they win. I hate to quote the late, great Al Davis, but just win, baby.
609-403-0973 is the text board. Send us your predictions for today's game. 609-403-0973. Another thing that Grayson alluded to, like he said when the Eagles run the ball, we've been professing this for the last 3 years that we've been doing this segment with Scott. The Eagles always got away with, under Doug Peterson, always got away from the run, right?
Yes,
when you get a team, when you get up on a team, you gotta. The one thing the game has not changed. You got to use to your advantage what can help you win by keeping the other offense off the field. And if it means running the ball, that's what you have to do. Now, if you look at Arthur Smith, he oversaw a second-ranked rushing attack in the NFL, averaging 153.5 yards for the Tennessee Titans last year. He's not afraid to run the ball.
Okay, well, listen, I'm old school like you. You're not going to get me to argue and say, no, you should throw it more. I get that it's a vertical league, but I always think that the run sets up the pass instead of the pass sets up the run.
Absolutely.
That's the way I feel about it.
609-403-0973. Give us your predictions. We got Eagles game day coverage. Of course, we'll take you right up to 12 o'clock, and then we'll turn it over to the Eagles pregame show.
The official pregame show.
The official pregame show.
We're the pre to the pregame.
We're the unofficial pregame show.
I don't know how we're going to describe, like the pre-show or, the pregame to the pregame.
Coverage starts at 10 a.m. Did I hear? Oh, I didn't hear that.
Hey, man, you want to do the voice track?
I'll do the voice. Coverage starts at 10 a.m.
I'm pretty sure that's
I didn't hear that. I heard coverage starts at 12 noon, but we're giving it to you right now.
Yes, sir.
All right, we're getting everybody pumped up for Eagles football. Look, here's my prediction. I heard your prediction of 27-13.
Well, that's only because somebody copied mine. So
no, but your prediction, I heard that on the
with Gil
earlier.
Yes.
27-13. I got the Eagles winning 24-20.
Oh, 24-20. Okay. Usually you hold on till the end of the show to do that.
No. Grayson's got it at 24.
But I love
27.
that you threw it out now. He's got Grayson had 24-17.
24-17 was his prediction.
So I've got the Eagles with 27 points. He's got them with 24. How many do you have again? Say it again.
24-20.
Okay, 24-20.
Want to remind people the second hour of the Locker Room is brought to you by the Great Bay Country Club, where it's not just golf, it's fun. And by the way, Pete, we are locked in for the 30th.
Oh, okay. This is some news.
For the 30th of October for our Pete Thompson, Bill Schweim Locker Room Challenge golf tournament.
All right.
And we got a great lineup. Tommy Green's going to be playing. Ken Dunnick, Milt Thompson, Scott McKay, Tom Jackson,
Tom Jackson,
Ron
and
Conklin.
Sons. Yeah.
Got a bunch of people.
This is great. All right. I'm in.
All right.
All right.
So we got some time to talk about it. Make Great Bay Country Club Radio. Ron Ralston also is going to have his broadcast live from the Great Bay Country Club on the 30th, Saturday the 30th. So we'll, as we get closer, we'll give you out more details. Make Great Bay Country Club your club. Great Bay is an award-winning private golf club where you are greeted by name. It's home of the 3-hour and 58-minute round. You can play on their 18-hole championship golf course, enjoy fine dining, or experience lively atmosphere in the pub. For more information, go to greatbay.com or give them a call at 609-927-5071. Great Bay Country Club in Somers Point, New Jersey. See why it's always a great day at Great Bay. Of course, when you get down there, say hello to Radio Ron Ralston. You got Chuck Dunn down there. He's your guy. Oh, by the way, we're golfing in the Charlie's thing too.
Oh, the Pumpkin Open?
The Pumpkin Open?
I didn't know you were available that day.
I thought you already booked me in it.
I did?
All right.
Well, I might have taken you out.
Who's our foursome?
I might have found a better golfer.
All right. My winter watchdog. Have you heard about New Jersey's premier vacant home management service? My Winter Watchdog. You know those worrisome thoughts that creep into your mind every time you hear of a storm coming, a daunting task, and driving down to the shore to check on the house, hours of your time in the car. Let My Winter Watchdog be your eyes and ears with their 15-point inspection checklist. They offer a full menu of maintenance and improvement services. Owner Debbie McGonigal and her team of property caretakers are professional, licensed, bonded, and insured. So don't let the winter worry you. They'll give your house that lived-in look. That's My Winter Watchdog. Go to mywinterwatchdog.com or give them a call at 267-202-1869. That's 267-202-1869. When we return, it's the fantasy football guru, Brian Hartley. You're listening to The Locker Room with Billy Schweim on 97.3 ESPN and the mobile app. And now it's time for my fantasy football guru, brought to you by Stella Exteriors. They've been providing professional roofing and siding at affordable prices since 1996. Did you know that only 2% of roofing contractors qualify as a GAF Master Elite installer? So if you do the math, choosing Stella Exteriors takes 98% of the worry out. That's Stella Exteriors, 636 West Avenue in Ocean City, New Jersey, or give them a call at 609-399-1010. That's 609-399-1010. Now let's go to the Barb's Harley Davidson Sports Hotline and welcome into the locker room my fantasy football guru and yours, Brian Hartley. Good morning, guru.
To another season, excited to be back and happy to be talking to you this beautiful day on Sunday, the first week of the season.
Guru, I've been ripped for some of my picks, especially by my co-host. But you know that's how it always is. There's a lot of trash talking in the beginning of the season. I'm in 3 fantasy leagues this year, and I got to be honest with you. The first team that I picked was outstanding. I loved it. The next 2 weren't so good, but I had the first pick in the first draft, and then I went down the board. It's hard picking 7th, 8th, 6th, 7th, and 8th.
Yeah, it is. But you know what? You get the fortunate news if you're in a snake draft. You get the double bubble coming back, so you get 2 quality guys. You may not get one of those top tier. But, Billy, for you, just today only, I got some breaking news for you, Billy.
All right.
Ooh, all right. I'm interested, too.
Breaking news. Hold on. Hey, did you know Gus Edwards, he's out for the season? That's not really breaking news, Billy, but you still have him in your starting lineup.
That's outstanding. That's outstanding.
You took the time to review your lineup before we got on here, and you got a guy who's out for the year. So
guess what? That's why I have you on.
Running back. You need another running back, and you already had Ronald Jones to play, so you better stick Damian Harris in there right away so you at least have a full team week 1.
See, Guru, that's why I have you on the program, so that as soon as we hang up, I'll make my adjustments.
It is amazing how much you need me, Billy.
I had Gus Edwards in one of my leagues, too. The minute I heard that announcement, I dropped him like a hot potato and picked up, I think, LeGarrette Blount is who I picked up.
Not only has he not dropped him, he's still in his starting lineup.
Oh, that's a foul. That's a party foul. Come on, Schweimer. Dude, what are you doing? What are you doing?
But see how valuable the guru is? That's why I have him on. The last-minute decisions. I get to wait until I hear from the guru.
He's like your protection. Jeez.
This is your one gimme for the year. I won't help you anymore since you're my competition.
All right, fantasy football guru. I'm excited about this year. I don't know, as far as the Eagles go, we'll get into that a little bit later. But as far as the fantasy football goes, I'm excited about this year, again, having you on board. So for week 1, give us your picks.
All right, so week 1 at quarterback, I like Ryan Tannehill. He's got Julio Jones now as an added weapon. That team is loaded offensively going against Arizona, who is just beat up at defense, and it's going to be a high-scoring game, I think. I like Matt Ryan going against Philly, and I like Matt Stafford going against Chicago, a team he's very familiar with. He's got a lot of weapons out there in L.A., and, I think it's going to be an interesting game. I also like, these guys going against the Jets. It's going to be an interesting Sam Darnold going against his old team week 1. I'm going to take him. I think him and Robbie Anderson are going to have a nice connection today. At running back, I like the Miles brothers. Miles Gaskin going against New England, and Miles Sanders against Atlanta. I also like the Denver running back tandem duo of Melvin Gordon and Javon Williams going against the Giants. At wide receiver, like I said, Robbie Anderson going against the Jets. I like Laviska Shenault today. I think he could have a good game. They're going to have to throw the ball. That game is just going to be a terrible game as far as, bunch of fumbles, I think interceptions with going against Houston. But I think you are going to see some scoring. Jerry Jeudy, my guy from Denver, going against the Giants. Another guy you have on your bench, but we'll talk about that later. And I like Jacoby Myers going against Miami today. I think he's going to be a go-to weapon there for the rookie quarterback, Mac Jones. And if you're looking for a defensive score today, I think the team to look for, again, is my Denver Broncos going against the New York Giants. Denver is healthy this year. They've got a solid defense. And, we all have seen enough of Daniel Jones to know that he's going to turn that ball over more than once. And I think Denver could put one in the end zone today. So those are my picks for week 1 of the NFL season.
So, Brian, you talked a little bit, and I love this segment already. I don't think I've enjoyed it enough. Brian Hartley's with us on the Barb's Harley-Davidson hotline, and, of course, his appearance is also brought to you by Stella Exteriors. You said Judy. That's a guy of course, I'm sitting there listening and thinking, oh, yeah, that's a guy I picked up. And then also you talked about Gus Edwards, and I tried to figure out what I could do. I mean, I'm not the only fantasy owner that got affected by Gus Edwards. But let me ask you this question. Josh Allen, is he going to be able to repeat the numbers that he put up last year? And is that, a good pick in your mind?
Yeah, I mean, Josh Allen's going to be a top quarterback. He broke all the franchise records last year, and you got to remember they have Hall of Famer Jim Kelly there at that franchise. So, you have another added game this year that's going to even add to those numbers. But they're going to be a throwing machine. They really still lack running the ball. They didn't do much to improve that this year. They still have Singletary and Moss there, and it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. But they've really struggled to run the ball. So I do look for Josh Allen to throw the ball a lot. He's got Diggs. He's got some other weapons. His numbers, I think, are going to be the same, if not better, this year. The division's slightly better. It's going to be interesting. But, you still have the Jets. Miami's defense is a little better. And New England's probably going to be a little more competitive this year. Even though their defense isn't stellar, I think they'll be in some more games with Mac Jones playing there at quarterback. So, I think Josh Allen's a top 5, definitely. My number 1 quarterback this year, fantasy-wise, is either going to be Dak Prescott or Kyler Murray, just, again, because of the fact that they don't have very good teams. They're going to have to throw the ball, and they're going to have to score points in some of these games. You're going to get junk yardage. The team record isn't going to reflect much, but fantasy-wise, I think those guys are going to have some really solid numbers this season.
And Guru, that's really what we're looking for, right? Yeah, like when you're drafting, you're trying to project. I mean, some of the established guys, and sometimes it's almost like the Pro Bowl used to be. Remember how players would get voted in basically on their year before? Fantasy's a lot like that. They get ranked on all these preseason rankings and stuff based off of what they did, but to win, you're trying to project who's going to be the breakout guy. So who are some of the breakout guys that you're like, that person's going to be good, that person's going to have a big year?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, you got to take wins and losses for their teams out of it. Really, that has nothing to do with anything when it comes to fantasy football. You got to look at teams that are going to be playing from behind if you got a wide receiver or quarterback. So, some of the guys this year that I think are really going to have some breakout roles, I think Joe Mixon coming back this year is really going to have a good season. Austin Eckler, who, in the beginning of last year was playing really well, but then got hurt. DeAndre Swift, I think he's going to get a lot. He came on at the end of the season. He got a lot of balls thrown to him. They're going to struggle this year, and he's going to be a big weapon with no Kenny Galladay there this year. You have some of these rookie running backs, Najee Harris, Javon Williams in Denver. I think some of those guys are going to see a lot of playing time and are going to be able to put up some really good numbers. Going to be interesting to see what a guy like Kyle Pitts in Atlanta, you lose Julio Jones, you get Kyle Pitts in that offense. They throw a lot. Again, they're not real deep at the running back position, so he could see a lot of targets early on. There's going to be some, a guy like CeeDee Lamb saw a whole bunch of targets the other night, only caught about 50%, but he's seeing a lot of targets. And now you have the injury to Michael Gallup. We'll see how long that lasts. So that only increases someone like CeeDee Lamb's, status here for fantasy football. And the quarterback list just goes on and on. You have all the usual guys. You saw Tom Brady at 44 years old the other night, slinging the ball around like he's 25 years old again. It's going to be a fun season. We're all looking forward to it. And, after week 1, you're going to see the waiver wire jumping like crazy because there's going to have all these guys that have a great week 1 and everyone thinks they're going to be breakout players for the season. And you got to kind of tamper those expectations. But there are going to be guys that are going to be great pickups that no one was really thinking about that maybe didn't get drafted. You're going to look to target after week 1.
We're talking to fantasy football guru Brian Hartley. I will drop Gus Edwards, I promise, as soon as the show's over. Let's talk about our Philadelphia Eagles against the Atlanta Falcons today. You did mention that you have Matt Ryan. He's
going against the Eagles.
Yeah, grizzled veteran with a new head coach, Arthur Smith, who's he's the offensive coordinator for the Titans, who had a pretty good red zone percentage last year. What do you expect? What do you anticipate from the Eagles in game 1?
Game 1's going to be an interesting game. I kind of like the matchup. I think, we couldn't have, aside from maybe the Giants, we couldn't have asked for a better matchup. I think the Eagles are going to come out on top today, 27-24. So I got your over-under 51 total points there. I think it's going to be a back-and-forth game. I don't think you're going to see either team get too far ahead or too far behind. And I think it's going to come down to the end of the game. I think the Eagles are going to get the ball late. and they're going to make a run either with a touchdown or a last-minute field goal to take it for the win on the road. But the Eagles, I'm excited this year. They got a lot of young talent. We're just going to see how it all has to come together. You know, new coaching staff. How are they going to play this out? So it's exciting this season. You know, the last few years we've really been hit by that injury bug big time. So we need to keep our guys healthy this year, and, you know, we can make some noise in the NFC East.
All right, there he is, the fantasy football guru, Brian Hartley. Brian, as always, we appreciate it. Thanks for the tips. I will take your advice, as I always do. That's why you're my guru.
I'm happy to be here, guys, and I appreciate you having me on.
All right, guru, we'll talk to you next Sunday for our Eagles pregame show.
Thanks, guys. Go Birds.
There
Go Birds.
Is.
All right, Brian.
There's Brian Hartley, the fantasy football guru, is brought to you by Stell Exteriors. They've been providing professional roofing and siding at affordable prices since 1996. Did you know that only 2% of roofing contractors qualify as a GAF Master Elite installer? So if you do the math, choosing Stell Exteriors takes 98% of the worry out. That's Stell Exteriors, 636 West Avenue in Ocean City, New Jersey. Give them a call at 609-399-1010, 609-399-1010. I want to remind people the second hour of the locker is brought to you by the Great Bay Country Club, where it's not just golf, it's fun. Make Great Bay Country Club your club. Great Bay is a private award-winning club where it's home of the 3 hour and 38. I've got a fly flying around my face.
Is that the problem?
Yes.
Is the fly the reason that you still have Gus Edwards in your lineup?
Oh my God.
That was awesome.
All right. Make Great Bay Country Club your club. Great Bay is award-winning private golf club where you are greeted by name. It's home of the 3 hour and 58-minute round. You can play on the 18-hole championship golf course, enjoy fine dining, or experience lively atmosphere in the pub. For more information, go to greatbay.com or give them a call at 609-927-5071. Great Bay Country Club in Summers Point, New Jersey. See why it's always a great day at Great Bay. Friends, let me tell you about Maserati, the main line, located just minutes from downtown Philadelphia. They offer a client-focused car buying experience designed to exceed all expectations and invite you to stop and see the area's largest selection of new Maseratis, including the sporty Ghibli midsize sedan or the class-leading Levante, the only SUV worthy of being called a Maserati. Maserati, the main line, also leads the nation in certified pre-owned sales and has the highest quality like new Maseratis available on the market. Your experience is not at the point of a sale. As Maserati, the main line, offers free pickup and delivery for scheduled service appointments and provides a new Maserati loaner car. So be audacious. Call my good friend Michael Pileggi at Maserati, the main line, today at 484-804-4800. That's 484-804-4800, or visit them online anytime at motml.com. All right, when we return, we'll continue with more here in the locker room with Billy Schweim, Pete Thompson on 97.3 ESPN and the mobile app. Hi, we're back here in the locker room. Billy Schweim. I want to remind people the locker room blitzes want to discount your Eagles game day meal during the Eagles season on game day. Get an Italian hoagie for just $5 when you mention the locker room. Get down to Blitzes all season long at 21st and Asbury Avenue in Ocean City. Blitzes now has online ordering at blitzesmarkets.com or give a call at 609-399-9983. Blitzes home of the dill pickle hoagie. It's really a big deal. Now, we've been giving out the text board number. We got some text to read.
Yeah, I'm just putting it out on the StreamYard, too. So, of course, you would do that while
609-403-0973 is the text board number. Of course, we're on Twitter and YouTube today.
Yeah,
Check us there.
Yeah, you got to get that one right. All right, here we go. See, now, can you see that at the bottom?
Yes, I can.
What does it say? Read that off real quick.
It says, what's your Eagles prediction for today?
Well, now, why did you ignore that took a lot for me to type text the show as well. Like, why would you ignore the headline? Text the show.
I mean, there are all these bugs flying around. What the heck's going on
Well,
here?
maybe you shouldn't eat the yogurt, you dumbass. I predict the Eagles win 24-20. Sir or ma'am, whoever you are, you also need to include your name for us to give you credit for your prediction. Eagles 37. I'm shutting your mic off. Eagles 37, Falcons 31. A rookie coach, offensive juggernaut, battle of the birds. And that's Fenton from Mays Landing. Plus, he threw in some emojis too. American flag, a football, another football, a trophy that Billy will never win because he has Gus Edwards in his lineup.
I just dropped him, so you guys are happy. By the way, I do have Jerry Judy. I don't know what he's talking about. I do have Jerry Judy in my lineup.
All right. I mean, look, you get so fired up about this stuff. The Inactives are out. You want some news? The Inactives are out.
Yes,
they come out at 11:30. All right. No surprises, in my opinion, on the Inactives. It's Gardner Minshew, Rodney McLeod. So we kind of knew that they were trending that way. The corner, Mac McCain, is out. Davion Taylor, the linebacker, and then Landon Dickerson. So those are the 5 Eagles Inactives. Everybody else ready to go, okay to go. For the Eagles game, which of course you can hear right here on 97.3 ESPN. Let me look at the Falcons.
By the way, we just got a text message from Tom Jackson.
Call Tom Jackson
and Sons for Electrical, they're number one. Tom Jackson says Eagles 27-13.
Oh, I have some people that are circumventing the official text message board, 609-403-0973. My boy, Chef Jim, by the way,
he's my man.
You know him?
Yes,
yeah,
I do.
31-20 Eagles, he says. And then he, like, so jealous, he sent me a picture of the barbecue beef brisket and the shrimp cocktail. I mean, I was like, whoa, feed me now. It was so good. Falcons Inactives, Felipe Franks, Wayne Gallman, the running back, Darren Hall, the corner, Frank Darby, the wide receiver, and on the defensive line, Taquan Graham. So no real 4 rookies inactive in the team's new running back. So 2 running backs, and the backup quarterback for the Falcons today will be Josh Rosen. Remember Josh Rosen?
But you know, I start to worry, Pete, when everybody takes the Eagles. Now, you expect it from Eagles fans, but when you see national people taking the Eagles, and you start to see reporters from the respective newspapers in the area all taking the Eagles, I start to worry.
Yeah, but I mean, it would be one thing if they were playing like an established team. I mean, the Falcons were dog dirt terrible last year. So were the Eagles, but you get the idea that, the Eagles with a healthy line, I think that's the difference to me, So what's your prediction for the show today? Or for the Eagles today, 609? I know what your prediction is for the show. Billy will trip over his own words a few times. He'll have Gus Edwards in his lineup. The fantasy guru will slap him down, He'll eat yogurt on his side of the console, and the flies will fly all around.
That's in the trash can. That was in the trash can before the show started.
That's your story, and you're sticking to it?
It's not me. There's flies all over the place.
That used to be in the family circus, not me. There was that little ghost that went around when you knew it was one of the 3 kids, and the parents would ask who did it. Remember that? Not me was a character. Of course not, because you didn't read the paper. You didn't even read the comics back then.
I never read comics.
Just get your phone up and tell me.
I was never into the comics. By the way, on Twitter, Carl Bradley says, tell PT his dad's corduroy Birds hat screams Buddy Ryan.
Yeah, I was, to be honest with you, I thought my dad kind of looked like Buddy Ryan because my dad wore glasses, buddy had big glasses, and my dad was pretty blunt, especially with his discipline. My father used to, not call me by my name. He would just say, "Eyes, right here." And I'm, "Oh, sorry, Dad." Yeah, I love my father. Good man.
Yeah. By the way, Merrill Reese, he's like a father figure to us.
Absolutely.
Right? Isn't he?
He's been doing it forever.
Starts his 45th year.
Yeah, good for him. Good on him. I mean, the one time, now this is probably 4 or 5 years ago, but the one time a friend of mine, Mike O'Donnell, had seats in the club level because he kind of does some work for Lincoln Financial. So, I mean, these were like, I'm going to say they're almost as good as the 97.3 seats. Like they were one section away from where the 97.3 official Eagles tickets are. Okay.
Right.
But club level, Eagles sideline, right? And we were literally, Billy, at the top where we were like, I could turn around. You got to look at me. I could turn around and see Mike and Merrill doing their thing.
Right.
And you're so close you could hear it. And I was like, this is great. I mean, I didn't have to put a Walkman on. I didn't have to put earbuds in. I could like hear Merrill doing the game behind me and then watching the game in front of me. I mean, that to me was maybe the greatest Eagles ticket I've ever had.
I just got a text message from another friend of mine that worked at U.S. Airways with me for a year, Paul Magano. And Paul, who's a huge Eagles fan, his prediction, he says, Falcons 44, Eagles 3.
Well, maybe he just did that because you were saying you're worried that nobody's going against it.
Maybe. I don't know. He said he's in his car heading back down to the shore. Ramagano, I don't know why you would do that. 44-3. I don't see that happening.
Bob Bishop was the gentleman that predicted 24-20 Eagles. Yeah, got to put your name on there. Thank you, Bob.
Listen, here's the key.
Wait a minute, I got one more.
Okay.
Dan from Tuckerton says 20-17 Falcons.
Wow.
So there you go.
All
See,
right.
you open that Pandora's box and say, isn't there anybody out there that's picking the Falcons? And whammo, they're all coming in now.
The key for the game, as is always in NFL games, is the turnover. Now, the new defensive coordinator Gannon, he emphasizes, turnovers. You gotta win the turnover battle, and a category which the Eagles tied for 22nd last year in turnovers.
You know a little bit of Gannon's background, by the way, too.
Yeah, he was. No, well, you're gonna enlighten me. Tell me about his background.
All right. Well, I mean, first of all, he's got like, core values because he basically comes from like the Cleveland area, where he grew up. I mean, even though he's 38,
Cleveland Rocks.
He had to go, yes, Drew Carey. He had to go into like, coaching after he had a bad hip injury when he was playing football at Louisville. So his father also passed away, Billy, when he was like really young. Okay. His father died in 2009. His father's only 58. Gannon was age 26. Wow. But his father's two principles were treat people the right way and try your hardest. Okay. I mean, it seems pretty simple, but basic. Like, what the phrase is that he uses with his players? He says, calm is contagious. And to me, that's the big thing that like jumps out to me. Go, ooh, God, I hope that translates because, when you're out there in an NFL game and all bleep is hitting the fan and the defenses that are exposed are the ones that can't get on the same page. So if that's like their little, I mean, you could call it coach speak or something like that, Billy, but if that's kind of the mentality that Gannon is preaching to his players, stay calm, I mean, I'm sitting here chuckling because I'm thinking of Kevin Bacon in Animal House. Remain calm. All is well. Right. But, I'm really optimistic and I'm really eager to see what the Eagles defense puts up today.
The Eagles, 609-403-0973. Keep your predictions coming in. Yeah, I mean,
and make them more realistic than Rob from Riverside
or Paul Ramagano, 44-3.
Rob said Falcons 99, Eagles nothing. Cowboys fan, Rob, or somebody else? Yeah, I mean.
By the way, speaking of the Cowboys, that game Thursday night, I didn't get a chance to talk to you about that.
I thought
watching Tom Brady is just like
it's unbelievable. He's so good. I hate it. I hate to admit it, but he is the GOAT. He's the greatest quarterback of all time. Anybody that has an issue with that wants to pull out Joe Montana or Johnny Unitas or somebody else, Joe Namath, even your guy. Come on. Tom Brady is still doing it at a high level. And the flip side of that, from what I thought of that game, was the fact that, the Cowboys are actually pretty good, because they hung with the defending Super Bowl champions.
Right.
Basically down to like, I mean, if McCarthy had mismanaged the clock a little bit, or if they, I thought that was
win the turnover battle, but still lose the game.
Right. I thought that was clock management. I felt like I was watching Andy Reid right there.
One thing though, Zeke Elliott was held to 12 yards, Pete.
Yeah, because teams get away from the run. So let's hope today that Nick Sirianni does not get away from the run. You heard Scott Grayson in the first hour say he'd like to see Miles Sanders with 18 to 20 runs. I would love that.
Boston Scott, Gainwell, Miles Sanders. So you split that. Like if Miles Sanders can get 20 carries, maybe Boston Scott another 9, 8, 9, 10, and Gainwell a few to keep everybody honest.
If you got either Scott or Gainwell doing anything positive, then that means you're winning the game.
So those guys are cut
that
out
means
of the
that
same
you're
mold.
winning the game and you're trying to eat clock in the fourth quarter, and I'm totally okay with it.
Real quick, who has a monster game for the Eagles today?
For me, who's the guy that has the monster game?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to go with the easy guy, and I think it's Jalen Hurts. You know, I'm not ready to proclaim him the next coming of, whatever, but I actually think that this matchup sets up favorably for him. I think that, Jalen Reagor will be better because Devontae Smith is on the field. Devontae Smith and Jalen Reagor will be better because both Zach Ertz and Dallas Goedert will be on the field.
I was going to say my guy today, my key guy is Zach Ertz.
Okay. Maybe Zach Ertz comes up with a touchdown.
How about that, Tail? At the end of last season, we thought he was all but gone, crying at the end of the season because he knew his tenure might be up, and have him come back and be on this team. And he's a leader. He's from the Super Bowl team. I think it's all good.
There was a big article earlier this week about the position coach that helped Zach Ertz come back. That sort of basically reached out the olive branch and convinced him, like, listen, you need to, we need to find a way to come together, a détente, if you will.
A détente.
That's French for put away your grievances and
609
suck it up.
609-403-0973 is the text board. Pete, you got a couple more?
Yeah, well, no, they're coming in.
All
Rob
right.
from Riverside had 99 nothing on the wrong way, and then there's a couple people there that are amused by you.
Now, Pete, did you give me amused by me? Pete, did you give me your prediction for the season as far as record goes?
I did not. I had them back when you and Scott were first doing the predictions. I had the Eagles at 7-10.
Okay.
So instead of a 7-10 split, that's the way I had them. But once again, I left that down in my car for the rest of the teams. I originally had Dallas winning the division, but then after I started listening to Baldy, and I actually flip-flopped that. I think that the Washington football team will win the division. I actually think that, but it's an ugly division. I mean, and the Giants are in the basement, right? So if you've got you've got the Washington football team winning, I think that they can get to 10 wins, right? So they're 10-7, and then everybody else is below that, right?
Yeah.
10-7. Cowboys 9-8.
I still have the
Eagles 7-10.
I still have the Eagles.
Giants 4-13.
I have the Eagles going 8-9.
Who was it that predicted a tie? Wasn't that Scott? I'm still laughing about that.
He's got him going.
Murphy Brown
8-1
on the stream board says Murphy Brown. That's funny. Candace Bergen called.
Right.
Devontae Smith's Hall of Fame career begins today. All right,
I'd love
Murphy.
To see it,
thank
man.
you.
I'd love to see it. Wouldn't that be exciting?
That's too funny. Murphy Brown.
Scotty McKay.
What if that's actually the person's name?
Scotty McKay predicts
a tie. 8-8-1.
Who does that?
Yeah, but what'll be great? If he's right, we'll never hear the end of it.
All right, the second hour of the Locker is brought to you by the Great Bay Country Club, where it's not just golf, it's fun. Make Great Bay Country Club your club. Great Bay is an award-winning private golf club where you are greeted by name. It's home of the 3-hour and 58-minute round. You can play on their 18-hole championship golf course and enjoy fine dining, experience lively atmosphere in the pub. For more information, go to greatbay.com or give them a call at 609-927-5071. Great Bay Country Club in Summers Point, New Jersey. See why it's always a great day at Great Bay. Just about everybody in our area has heard about the Jersey Man and Philly Man magazine, run by ex-Philadelphia tight end Ken Dunnick. But were you aware of their private business network they call the Legacy Club? Every month, they hold private events at upscale locations in Philadelphia, South Jersey that attract over 200 top business people. If you have an interest in attending one of these events and sees it fit for your business, send an email to ken@jerseymanmagazine.com or give them a call at 856-912-4007 for more information. All right, when we return, we'll wrap it up. You're listening to The Locker Room with Billy Schweim, Pete Thompson. Hey Pete, can you pipe me through here? Not cut me off.
Sorry about that. It was a accidental clicking. I mean, I got a lot going on this side of the board. I mean, come on now.
Sure
right? It was. I had moved the mouse over to be like, all right, let me get this in position here for where I'm going to play my spots. And you were like on 97.3. Boom, commercial.
Hey, Paul Ramagano gets back to me. He said, "You're the best, Billy. I may have exaggerated just a bit, but I do think people are getting a little carried away with their optimism for this team. I think we're rebuilding mode. The win-loss record won't be that great. I still think they're an eight-win team this year.
And I say 7 and 10, 7-10 split, just like bowling. You'll always remember my prediction.
And as far as Jalen Hurts goes today, I think with his athleticism, he went through 2 big programs. He went to Alabama. He's reunited with Devontae Smith, and he played at Oklahoma, obviously. I think he's a good quarterback. And is he great? No, but he's learning. It's not even. This is going to be his first full year under center. Let's give him a chance.
I'm most comforted by the fact that Zach Ertz has returned. Like, that to me is the big safety valve for Jalen Hurts. The fact that both him and Goddard are there now. Now Goddard, if you're Dallas Goddard, you're kind of thinking like, wait a second, you just gave a rugby player my money.
Right.
Like, whoa, what are you doing? But my Lotta, I mean, you can never have enough good on the offensive line. I read a big article yesterday.
6'8", 350 pounds.
He's a freak. I read a big article yesterday on about Jeff Stoutland. I think it was on The Athletic. Do you subscribe to The Athletic?
I do not.
Oh, you should, or maybe I'll give you my password because I know you're poor. So yeah, maybe I'll let
Thanks
you
a lot,
in on
Pete.
that. You're welcome. Yeah, I mean, $5 was the bet, right?
You want to go 10?
Trying to keep. Oh, sure. Look at you talking smack.
Let's go 10.
Huh? Okay, Pookie. Yeah, we'll go 10. I christen thee the Flying Wasp. Yeah, we'll go 10. That's fine. One $10 bill coming my way.
Because I'm poor.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to call you poor.
I mean, come on,
that makes you upset. I apologize. Sort of.
I'm easy. You guys break my stones because I'm easy, right?
Yes, and because it bothers you so much.
Nothing bothers me. It's like water off a duck's rear end.
Yeah, sure. That's what you'd like us
to think. It's like throwing spitballs at a battleship.
I'm telling you, it is a wonderful thing to co-host this show with you on Sundays because I am usually the one that is like, I'm an ENFP, extroverted, intuitive, feeling perceptive. I have an intense need to be liked. And then I met you, and I'm like, whoa.
Well, I like you, Pete. Great job today.
I love you too, pal.
Except for you cut me off a few times.
Just once. Okay. Just one time. Go Birds. Go Eagles.
Thanks for everybody that participated in today's show.
Yeah, the texters. Scott Grayson, thanks to him. Watch him on Fox 29 tonight.
Thanks to Brian Hartley, the fantasy football guru.
Stell Exteriors for sponsoring the fantasy football guru.
Blitz's Market for giving you a good discount.
Mention the locker room, $5. Mention the locker room, $5 for the Italian hoagie.
Let's go Birds. Let's get a big win, Pete. By the way, the Phillies play at 1.
Oh, yeah, by the way.
Oh, by the way.
Right.
All right, thanks for making the locker room part of your Sunday because nothing could be finer than talking sports with the Schweiner. Stay tuned for Eagles pregame show and then Merle and Mike with the call right here on 97.3. I'll see you next week, everybody.